Hello and welcome to Stub Town. This is PSU TV's new review show, and today we're talking about Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters!
My name's TJ Hunt. I'm the projects director with PSU TV. To my right is Tarquin Boyat. He's our marketing director. And to my left is past station manager, Jumi Hatcher. We'll talk in the spoiler-free section to begin. What do you guys think of the movie?
Oh, who's gonna start? Are you starting? Am I starting?
Do I go?
Yeah, I think.
Wait. Is this where I talk? Are you done talking?
Are you segueing into yourself right now?
Oh my God.
I'll take the reins.
Yeah,
I'll take the
all
reins.
right,
Okay,
we'll
so general spoiler-free thoughts about Ghostbusters. It was perfectly, I've said this before, perfectly possible to sit through. It was possible to sit through. Most of the parts I was kind of like cringing in my seat, but somehow I couldn't quite pinpoint why I kept watching the movie and why it kept me just entertained enough to not walk out of the theater. But it's not very good. I mean, I feel like any modern viewer who knows anything about movies was not expecting very much. And I went in there with the lowest possible expectations, down to the ground floor.
No, you were.
And it just barely took a step above that, which left me kind of satisfied.
So damned by faint praise from Tark.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm coming from with it. It was cheap, but it knew what it was. Okay. Which I can sort of respect, and some of it, every 30 minutes there was a gag that made me chuckle. I feel like that might have been the hook that kept bringing me back.
Four jokes overall.
Yeah, about four.
Okay.
Four good jokes.
I can agree with that. I don't have such a review of the movie. I was entertained. They made their gladiatorial attempt, and I was entertained in the Coliseum. But I share some of the same issues, and it's kind of hard to go into specifics without the spoilers section. But I think the real key to enjoying the movie is to go on a matinee.
Unless you pay that,
that'll help. And really just go into to have a good time. The reason I had higher hopes than try to keep it. I didn't crawl into the theater like Tark did. But the reason I had higher hopes is because I love the cast. Yeah. They're all very funny comedians.
True.
And
that is true.
I was pleasantly surprised that how much they were able to work with what they were given.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Like, oh my God, what they were given is like.
Yeah, exactly. So go ahead and watch the movie. But
on a matinee.
Yeah,
of course. No matter what, like people are gonna be curious and they want to see it. But like I sort of ran into the same thing where I was sitting there, I'm like, my God, like plot-wise, this is kind of sort of like a mess. Like it's just sort of
like it really is. It really
just happen. And
I think the hardest part for me, or the nail in the coffin, and we'll talk more in detail when we get to the spoiler section. But towards the very end, dealing with the villain, I'm like,
I feel like that's not a spoiler. The villain, like we can at least talk about, like the villain was crazy bland. Just not even a character, really. Just sort of like
and then some of the fun stuff that they obviously set up for, they totally just didn't put in the movie and just put it like at the end.
I feel like so much of the movie was constructed just so that it wouldn't be compared to the original.
That's very true. I think you're very right with that. Is they specifically went out of their way not to make things too comparable to the original, because the original, it's going to be impossible to compare because it has the nostalgia factor in and of itself. I mean, I love the original movie in and of itself, but I'll freely admit that part of that is
Well,
nostalgia.
It's a product of its own time. I mean,
Yeah.
there's like even watching it now. I love that movie, but there's some jokes you're like, oh no,
Yeah,
you can't
right,
say
things
that.
you couldn't say.
Yeah,
you couldn't say now. Yeah, it's true.
But I felt like with this, when I walked out, I was trying really hard because Ghostbusters has so many moments. Like the original has so many like memorable, quotable moments. When I walked out of this one, I was trying to think of stuff that wasn't on posters or in the lead up, and I was like, I can't think of like any like lines from the movie.
That's true.
You could just go ahead and
Yeah.
watch the trailer.
Yeah, and like I
And you'll
really,
get everything. In
yeah,
there.
pretty-
which is weird
pretty
because
accurate.
people were like, "This trailer is horrible," and then like I've seen same reviews where like, "Well, the marketing was bad for this movie, but like it was fine." And like I feel like the trailer pretty accurately represented what you were gonna get.
It
You know?
does.
Like
True.
like sort of like a cartoon, with actresses you really like not being as good as you hoped they would be. Like, and I not that any of them had anything to say. Like they killed it with what they were given. I think Kate McKinnon was the breakout for me.
Oh yeah, no, I think if anything, and we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
So Kate McKinnon's character is a great blend of different elements.
Yeah,
Mm.
very
you know,
true.
and I found myself like really drawn to her chaos.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I want to see more of this craziness.
And I felt like she was the only character they knew how to write jokes for.
Yeah.
The reason that McCarthy doesn't particularly shine through in this is because they have no idea what to do with her character. Like, she can't be the weird one because Kate McKinnon's the weird one. She can't be the button-down one because, oh my gosh, what's her name?
Kristen
Kristen
Wiig.
Wiig. Kristen Wiig is the button-down one. So McCarthy just sort of hangs in this weird dead zone where she's just mad about soup.
Well, also, McCarthy's
I feel
so
like 80% of
she's
her
also
dialogue is
she's also
button-downs.
known for a lot of like physical comedy.
Yeah.
And they do a little bit of that in I said a little bit.
Yeah.
You know. And you saw it in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with what you're saying is that they didn't use her to her full potential.
Yeah.
So and I guess what's important in the story is her and Kristen Wiig's characters.
Which
Like,
yeah.
I'm sure that that's an important part of,
Yeah.
of that story is that relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, there's some issues with that. too.
Yeah. I mean, I was really hoping that this director could do more with the material. Like, on one hand, it feels like there's very big parts of the movie where they're like just basically giving the finger to like critics and things that like said negative things leading up to the movie.
Well,
Like,
they just don't care.
they literally check YouTube comments twice in the
Yeah,
movie.
no, that's
It's bizarre, right?
that-
so like
that
on
is
one
kinda
hand,
funny.
I
they're
did like those, though.
they're like brazen in their way of like saying we're gonna do what we want to do, and then on the other hand, they're afraid to do anything new, or like really wild with it, or like meaty. There's like everything. I felt like this whole movie was like skeleton with
Exactly.
no meat to it.
Yeah,
like,
to piggyback off that, the whole movie felt stale. It's like none of the actresses really, you know, had the material to work with, and they were all underplayed. Not just what's her name when we were talking.
Kristen
about
Wiig.
it. Well, Kristen Wiig.
McCarthy.
McCarthy, yeah, not just McCarthy, but I mean all of them were very underplayed just because they didn't have much to work with.
Yeah.
You know, like story-wise, or you know, just the dialogue. It's just not a lot was there. But I feel like to go back off what you were saying earlier, to where they did not want to, you know, they wanted to keep it as far from the original as possible.
Yeah.
They wanted not like as far as possible, but
Right.
they didn't want people comparing it to the original.
Totally.
They wanted it to be kind of like its own new thing in the Ghostbusters universe. That's why they made so many big changes. You know, like the all-female cast, for
Right.
example. It's like an opposite of the Force Awakens type thing, and I feel like because you
Right.
know
No,
it's
which
like it's the safe zone,
Yeah.
which just adds to how stale the whole movie is going through.
Well, I think it best describes as like the comedy isn't clever.
No.
And it
So-
knows
that's-
it's not.
Yeah, and that's what really
Have you ever
bummed me
seen
out about it.
Have you ever seen an improv actor do a joke that they can't land, but they keep doing it over and over
It's
again?
the whole movie.
That's like most of the movie.
Yeah, that's the entire thing.
Like that's why I felt bad for Wiig and McCarthy. I felt like they were like given these characters and they're like, okay, like do something funny, and they were like, like,
That's a good way to
and
explain it.
Kate McKinnon, they're like, hey, you're super weird. And she's like, oh, I can do weird. Oh,
Yeah, that was an easy paycheck for her.
Yeah, she's like, I'm from SNL. I got characters. Like,
And she's got
Well-
physical comedy.
Well,
too.
I don't know about Melissa McCarthy, but they're all from SNL.
I know, but like,
Yeah.
they weren't handed characters like SNL characters,
That's
right?
true.
Kristen Wiig's character is pure SNL weird, like along the lines of like Wayne's World or like those sort of classic sketches where it's like
To the obscene.
weird. Yeah. But it works for this one. It's not like Egon is super grounded in the original, which she's like the next iteration of, so it's fine with that. All right, so do we want to move on to the spoiler section? I can tell you guys are sort of like itching to.
Yeah, I'm waiting just to rip this movie.
Well,
I want to start the spoiler section with one specific point. Can we talk about Chris Hemsworth in this real quick?
Yes, we can.
So
I actually thought that like 3 of the 4 times I laughed were because of him.
Yeah,
to be
his
honest.
jokes are really well set up,
And
like,
he does a good job.
My favorite one is he's holding the 2 pictures. He's like, which of these makes me look more like a doctor? The one where he's holding a saxophone, the one where I'm playing saxophone, or I'm listening to saxophone.
He's
And
got
he
it
just
up to his
holds it-
ear.
Oh my god. But like,
Yeah, that's good.
it got to be a problem, honestly. Like, his character
did.
starts to like take over the plot. Like, and it makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Like, he shows up and he's like, I want to be a Ghostbuster now. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
And like,
well, he just wants to be included.
no, I know, but he's so dumb. Like I get dumb for comedy's sake, but this guy doesn't know how phones work.
Yeah.
Like he's painfully stupid. And then at the end, like he's sort of like when he's taken over by the bad guy, and he's just like dancing, and none of it makes any sense.
Just a Hawkeye dancing.
Yeah, and it was weird how, like, even now when you see, like, the posters and advertising, like, he gets bigger and bigger as the movie gets closer to release. Like, if you go back and look
He's
at the
like
posters,
the Minions of that movie.
He's the
though.
Minions
He's
of
the
that.
Minions
Oh my
of
God,
that movie.
that's perfect.
That's what he is.
That's
Yeah.
probably why I really liked his character because I love the Minions. They're
Oh.
No,
hilarious.
I mean,
I know.
I like-
we'll go back and review that at a different time.
But I like Chris Hemsworth in the movie, but I just think it's sad that his character ends up overshadowing the other 4 leads.
Yeah, well,
Because, again, they could write jokes for him.
That's true. That's true.
Dumb guy.
I think
Can't use
the
the phone.
thing that bugs me about his character is, so there's a couple really good stuff set up for him or whatnot,
Totally.
but they really do just do it over and over again.
They beat it
Which
to death.
they beat it to death, and that's the part I don't like about it.
Exactly. The setup does catch you off guard, though. Like, he walks in for the interview, he seems together, and then he sits down, and of course, Kristen Wiig is, like, all, like, hot and bothered over him, and that's
Sure.
pretty funny.
Oh.
But then...
But Melissa McCarthy's not.
But then he starts getting stupider and stupider, and it caught me off guard, which is why I liked it so much. But it was beating a dead horse.
I
towards the end.
think the jokes that I liked most about what were involving his character is just like the physical comedy stuff. So like the subtle things, like when he goes to scratch his eyes.
Oh, and he goes into the glasses?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when I saw that, I was like, because they didn't say anything on the first shot of it.
Yeah.
They say something on the second shot.
But
So the
again-
first shot, I was like, wait, did he just?
Yeah.
You know, and I found that
Again,
extremely amusing.
They beat that joke to
They
death.
did. The first
does
time
it the rest of the movie.
I
It's
know.
like a
I know. It's like
twitch.
you got it.
Oh.
It was done.
It was
you
done.
had it
It was
good.
funny. You got the joke.
The sandwich gag.
I
That
it
really
was
good.
great.
That was
yeah.
like
That was the,
and
like-
that was a nice one-off.
Yeah.
You know, jokes are supposed to be just like funny. And
Yeah,
dumb.
and that felt like a classic 80s slapstick joke. That was like in the original
Oh, yeah,
Ghostbusters,
yeah.
you know, she throws a sandwich, comes back from out of frame,
Yeah.
catches it, starts eating it again. That was goofy and it was funny. That was the only like genuine like full laugh. And I was really glad that they managed to squeeze that in right at the
Right
end
at the
for me.
end.
So I was like, okay, I got
So-
a real
oh my
laugh.
That's
out of
true,
it.
that's
So,
Not just a chuckle.
What I think is the biggest problem with the movie is the whole climax. Just everything in the third act is like a mess.
It is a
Do you
complete
think
mess.
that's fair?
I think that's totally fair.
I think that's a fair assessment. I mean I don't want to be too much on Hemsworth's performance or whatnot, but I think to close that whole section, there's a spot near the very end of the movie when they're coming to go after the villain, and the villain has clearly set up like the military and the police. They all are after him, and he clearly sets them up to do a whole musical dance sequence.
Right.
And they say nothing about it.
No, they just drop it in the credits.
They drop it completely, and then they just use it as some sort of montage in the credits, which I think with all the crazy stuff that's happening, to break into lack of a better example, a Mask-esque scene. 'Cause
Right.
I know
Yeah.
not a lot of people maybe not like that movie. I happen to love the Cuban
Carrey.
feet the Cuban Pete bit from The Mask.
Oh, you're talking about Mask 2? Or?
No,
The Mask.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about
Don't-
Mask 2 when
don't
the
watch
baby's
Mask
in the
2.
womb.
No,
And I was
no.
like, that's not what you're talking
No,
about.
no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, good.
No more talking about Mask 2.
Yeah, we don't talk about Mask 2.
Right, it's right up there with Highlander.
2.
Yeah.
Highlander 1.
Oh yeah, that's the best. But let's not
Ghostbusters.
Anyway,
Ghostbusters, right? So this whole setup, all of this craziness, they just get through this. While very cool looking and kid badass moves and stuff like that, they do this whole battle sequence with a street full of ghosts, and a great thing to just totally throw it off and add that more chaos but add that humor.
Right.
Would have been that whole controlling musical sequence where the military's dancing and stuff. That would have been great right there.
I would not. I hate musicals, but I mean, that's a blanket statement there. But I feel like that would have worked in that moment. I mean, that would contribute to the fact that the movie knew what it was.
I'm gonna disagree slightly. I'm glad they didn't do it. Nothing, because the main villain, he's so bland. He's just people were mean to me. I'm gonna cause the apocalypse because people were mean to me.
But you don't think that would have added a little something?
That character doesn't strike me as someone who's gonna break into dance at any time in his life.
But I think that would have added to that character.
As soon as he possesses Chris Hemsworth, the entire performance or whatever that character was disappears completely. And he's paper thin to begin with, so them not even being able to hold on to that very tiny he's bitter.
Yeah,
they couldn't even hold on to bitter. As soon as he's in Chris Hemsworth, he's just hey, I'm a strong guy now.
Yeah.
And oh man, the weirdest thing for me, the whole movie, the scene that sort of summed up how I felt, it was weird. It was a very meta moment where the main bad guy at the end becomes the Ghostbusters cartoon logo, which was really confusing. And then he grows into a giant version of it with a little bow tie. And for some reason, he's a big CG monster that they CG'd it to make it look like burlap over wood and stuff. He looked like a parade float.
They were trying to call back to the Marshmallow mascot.
Yeah,
I know they were
just
doing
sad.
that, but honestly,
work.
They already did with the party balloons.
I didn't.
Or not party balloons. The
did not like that whole idea.
Oh my god.
with the pilgrim zombies.
What?
Oh.
Or not
well,
zombies,
before
ghosts.
going into that, the whole villain monster, so as a little explanation.
Yeah.
So he's a cartoon animated logo that turns into a giant canvas version of him.
It's like the Oogie
But
Boogie Man from Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's exactly what I got.
Yeah.
That was the first image I got when he started growing. I was like, oh, that's Nightmare from Before Christmas.
I didn't even think about that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's the exact same thing.
And so that kind of bothered me about that whole
Back
thing.
to the logo though. A rose for the movie, something I did actually like, was with the graffiti artist on the
that
wall.
was good, yeah.
That was clever. And then he's, writing the graffiti on the wall, and then the one woman who hasn't joined, who's the security guard, is like, stop, and you never see what he's drawing, and then all of a sudden, McKinnon's like, that would make a good logo, and it's the Ghostbusters logo. That was clever.
Yeah,
that was cute.
that
like
was
that.
fine.
I liked it.
that.
It's about the highest thing movie gets. It's yeah. All right.
That was kind of cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about all of these cool new gadgets.
Oh my God.
All right.
The murder weapons.
Yeah, they murder ghosts.
Yeah.
What is that? They were in the original. There's such a pending threat. Every the ghost in the library is so scary. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, that is real. I don't like that. When they're bagging Slimer, there's menace there, and the fact that they can't control. Every time they shoot a gun, they blow away 5 other things, and it's
Right.
hilarious. Every time they run into a ghost, it's a threat, and they can only contain it. Right? They don't ever beat them. And in this one, they ghost murder. How do you murder a ghost?
Is that
And
okay
why?
too? Is that ethical?
Is that ethical?
They capture one ghost,
Well,
and then
you
they
can
just
all-
murder Bill
They
Murray
don't
with
capture
it.
any ghosts, by the way. They capture one ghost,
And then release it on
let
purpose.
it go, and then murder the rest of the ghosts.
And that ghost they release murders Bill Murray's cameo.
Oh my god. Oh, all right, before we get into cameos, because that's
Okay,
that'll
right,
be a good thing.
right.
I'll let you finish.
Okay, so all right.
Oh.
So I know adding in all the new gadgets and everything are one part trying to be different than the normal thing. I'm getting there. And then the other part is, of course, marketing toys for kids.
Yeah.
But they as an aspect of trying to be different than the original, they completely lose what was great about those original weapons. Like you were saying,
really scrappy.
They're like just
they're scientists.
They're scientists. They put a bunch of junk together. It happens to work. Oh, by the way, the whole recreation of the turning on the proton pack scene in this one compared to the old one, it, for me, completely falls flat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they created all these devices, which, okay. So if the original devices were to capture ghosts so they could analyze it and everything like that, so McKinnon's character Holtzman goes in and creates ghost killing machines.
Yeah.
So like from the trailers, you'll see the punching
the punch gun.
The
He's
punch
got a
gun.
ghosts.
That's right, punch gun.
The most effective way.
And then though I will say that the most effective killing one that they have is the shredder.
How does that work? I'm so confused by that.
The tiny little wood chipper.
It's a wood chipper for ghosts. So
The
it creates a little
blades.
vortex that sucks them in.
I know, but the blades are just like regular blades.
No. It's got that mumbo jumbo inside. Science. It's got science.
The vacuum thing I get, and it's like energy hurts ghosts. So I get that.
Yeah.
And then it's just a wood chipper, just like a regular old.
The blades were for aesthetic. It's the science inside. It's the science inside of it that makes them come out the other end.
They just
of
put
the
the wood chipper on
So
to be
a
dangerous to the person
handhold
holding
wood
it.
chipper
Exactly. Yeah.
for ghosts. So a ghost chipper. All right. So there's this scene near the very end where it's the character's time to be badasses. All right, and they go battle an army of ghosts, pilgrim ghosts and revolutionary ghosts and pirate ghosts and all of these things.
The gangs in New York.
The gangs in New York, ghosts, and all this kind of stuff. And while very cool and action packed,
I felt like I was dropped into another movie.
Yeah, exactly.
well, the whole, it's. So I guess that's one more thing to make sure that it's not like the original, because they went and they destroyed ghosts. There are literally piles of ghost parts,
like
body.
It's just goo.
Part
And
goo, part body part.
then they started using the proton packs as like whip things to smash people. It's like they were all like Whiplash from Iron Man 2.
There's a lot of that going on.
McKinnon's whole like badass action sequence.
Right. And I'll have to say I did like that. I did like it.
It looked cool, but I felt bad for the ghosts. I was
was
like, this
totally
is genocide.
Well, and
Yeah,
you know what it reminded me of? Like in The Life Aquatic. When Steve Zissou just grabs like an AK-47 out of nowhere and he like drives the pirates off, right? Because like in that movie, it's supposed to be like this like, is he telling the truth about what happened sort of thing? So it's like a joke, like it doesn't fit. In this, it's just like, wait, they fight now? Where did they learn any of this? Where did they get to try any of this on any ghost? As far as we know, they've seen that one like pterodactyl ghost. That's like it.
Oh, they saw the woman ghost in the touring like museum of the mansion place, and then they saw the ghost.
I meant since they had their proton.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Man.
So yeah, the
it's
scene.
Just so weird.
Yeah, it is. Definitely added to the entertaining factor at the time, but it is an issue.
The resolution bothered me so much. So like this is the weirdest thing for me. Like the big portal created on the ley lines or whatever in New York City. That's whatever, fine. The big portal in the ground, right? How did they beat it? Slimer, who stole the car earlier, drives the Ecto-1 into that because apparently Kate McKinnon's character rigged the car to be a nuclear explosive, which is never explained.
Wild card.
Yeah, they're just like on the.
Well, it's a nuke on top of our car. We've been driving a hearse with a nuclear reactor.
Charlie Day and freaking Louis Sunny. Wild card. Because every time they show the device, it's just next to the light.
I actually have no problem with them, with McKinnon's character, with Holtzman creating some sort of thing that doesn't
crazy.
act as a nuclear device. It just because she
a
says
joke
it
from the original, right? They're in the elevator, like, oh, why be nervous? We have unlicensed nuclear reactors on our back, and then they sort of like move. That's hilarious. No, and there wasn't that. It wasn't that there was a device that could explode.
Yeah.
That's part of Ghostbusters.
Right.
It was that every time they showed the device, it was on top of the car next to the spinning light and siren, and it had no function. It was never explained. Like if she was like, yeah, I put that on the car because like you can circle a ghost with it. I don't know, something.
No.
If
Okay.
they had AT-AT,
Well,
like,
they never explained that stuff in the original Ghostbusters either.
But like they don't just have like, look at this, it explodes.
I think the biggest issue, the really only issue I have with that whole there's a nuke on top of the car is because they do it 5 minutes before they do it.
Yeah.
Like before it's relevant. And
That's the whole plot.
yeah,
No,
well that's what
right,
I'm saying.
right.
So if they did it like when they built the car and they said, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. It's all powered by this nuclear reactor."
It would have been
on top."
something
And then
resembling
just-
foreshadowing.
Yeah,
original-
exactly. And
Yeah.
being like the scene or two before you have to use it, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because like in the original Ghostbusters, the only hint towards the end is don't cross the streams. They
Right.
say it like once or twice maybe.
Yeah.
And then at the end they're like, I guess we're gonna do that. And
It's
I'm
like,
oh,
but
okay,
you
yeah.
said cross the streams was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even explain anything about the car. They're just like, this is the car. That's gonna explode.
That's the whole plot, though. Everything progresses within 5
Everything-
minutes.
well, and
every
that-
single scene, every conflict, everything.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
that's-
boom, 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 boom.
Like, oh my god, Tywin Lannister is in it. like for like
He
for like a hot
Yeah.
minute. He shows up as the dean.
Brother Nuncy, if
He's
you've ever
so-
watched,
he's-
Golden Child,
he's so-
which you should.
He's so cool. Like he shows up as the dean of this college where Kristen Wiig's character is trying to get tenure, and you're like, oh, this is cool. This is gonna be like a long reign conflict. Never shows up again. They never bring up the college thing again. She's just like fired, and they never talk about it.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig just doesn't even care.
Well,
She's like, I
he's-
saw a ghost.
She's not affected by
He's a
it.
cameo.
Don't care
No,
about
I
my
know, but like nothing that happens to the characters matters to them later on. Like Kristen Wiig is never even sad that she was fired. She's never anything. It just seems to bounce right off of her. Like everything that happens in the movie, the next scene they act exactly the same as they did in the scene before.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, there's excuses for all of it, though. Like, maybe Kristen Wiig's character is upset about losing her job because for the first time
Right.
since she was 8 years old, she's seen a ghost again.
Right.
Like a
But,
full-on
like,
apparition.
They didn't put in the time
Oh, yeah.
or the writing to like do stuff like that. They just like moving on.
But I will say that scene where she's telling that story.
That was a
really good.
Yeah, well,
really good
that's
scene.
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
talented.
Yeah.
Taking
Well,
what she can, you know,
yeah,
do
exactly.
with
But I
writing.
think I think that was, I think the only problem with it was they didn't continue it.
Yeah.
Or they didn't really
there was no
play it.
There's no emotional through line for the whole movie. There's nothing that like starts at the beginning and pays off at the end. It's all like 10-minute episodes. Like if you split it up, like it's like this starts and ends here. This
So
starts
what
and
you're
ends
saying
here,
is
this starts
the
and
new
ends here.
Ghostbusters, it would make a great web series?
If it was a web series, people would be like, "This is great," because then by the end they'd be like, "Well, I kind of fell off, but I'm already a fan. I got a tattoo. I can't."
Well, we were talking about this earlier. Is we think there's a lot that was cut. Like the original
Yeah.
cut is very trimmed down from. Like I feel
Yeah.
like there are points where there should be a lot of scenes that are just missing that aren't there. Like there's this huge plot hole.
There's like
with,
a 9-hour cut somewhere.
yeah, like when
Probably not that much. Three.
when McCarthy's character gets possessed, Kristen Wiig's character is not there. Where is she? She's just at her apartment reading
Oh,
a magazine.
yeah.
For
That
no reason.
whole- yeah,
Why
that-
is she not
and
in the
then they
office?
all react like she had been gone or she had left
Exactly,
or
and
something
then
like that.
and that enables her to go warn the mayor. The
Right.
apocalypse, the miniature New York-sized
That's
apocalypse
apocalypse.
happens,
God.
and then it enables her to come back and save them. I feel like there's a scene missing there. There's the classic,
They should've-
conflict within the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig's character should have gotten in an argument and then, left, gone home, stewed. Then when she, and then she realizes that, which it was pretty obvious. I didn't get why they didn't realize when the villain kills himself, he's gonna come back as a ghost. It's the movie's called Ghostbusters.
Well, nobody told them because they're in it.
yeah, they were just coming up for a quick paycheck.
Can we talk about the ghost effects real quick? How did you guys feel about the ghost? There's been a lot of criticism that
Right.
people have brought up.
The first ghost I liked.
Yeah?
creepy woman ghost. I was like,
Sure.
okay, but then it just kind of started falling off its horse after that. Like I felt when she vomited that goo all over Kristen Wiig, like that. I actually like that gave me a little jump scare.
Nice.
But other than that,
It's
none
even
of
better in 3D.
IMAX 3D.
Yeah,
I
that's the version I
I
have.
feel
3D
so I
gets
feel
it
so
in
bad
every
for you.
crack.
I feel so bad for you that you paid that much for your movie ticket.
I know. It was the only one I could get to in time for this, but
Brutal.
yeah, the ghost effect style choice. I prefer. And this is just personal preference. I prefer them to be apparitions. I prefer them to be ghostly. You know, they're not. They're very solid.
Ghostbusters ghosts have
That's
always
true.
been kind of solid.
I-
And they're
I-
barely
I-
ghosts.
I
They're like
don't-
weird.
I don't remember them like
Well,
that.
Think of original Slimer, you know?
Okay,
like
I'll say
rubber
yes. Slimer in from the original series or the original
There's
movie.
only one ghost.
I know.
in the
I know.
original.
That's true.
It's the lady in the
It's
library.
very, yeah, I know. I will say that Slimer, yes, was the most solid, I guess. But then when they apply that style to Slimer, now he doesn't.
He's not see-through at all.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. There's nothing to say. Oh, that's just a weird monster thing.
Yeah.
You know, but I do like the carnival-esque creepiness.
Yeah.
I do like that of the styling, but I like my ghostly.
I think I personally I wasn't a big fan at all. I felt like somebody let Tim Burton in the art room. And he was like, it's gotta be long and stripy. And
Yeah,
it's
like the giant pilgrim ghost.
giant
It was
pilgrim
just like
ghost.
Twiggy. He looked like a bad
well, and like
cartoon.
Ghostbusters 2 is full of like stupid ghosts and monsters and weird things. Like the lady's coat that comes alive. I always think of that one. There's like a zombie cab driver.
But it's
which
not
like
the-
I'm fine with like the variety of ghosts and things. I just really on one level I thought these designs weren't particularly inspired or interesting. Like
Oh,
a
yeah,
tall
no.
guy with the top hat. Like
Yeah.
whose DeviantArt page are we on? Like, and then like one problem I had with the early scenes especially was the neon practical lights that they used.
Yeah.
They were just too powerful. Like the lights were turned up so high that it was like there's one scene where like the door is open and then like the entire wall is like bright red or something, bright red or blue, and it's just
too much.
it felt very it's what pushed this one, like it's what part of what makes this movie feel so cartoonish, other than like the lackluster writing or like the underdeveloped characters. Like that also like the art style of like everything pushes it further. Like when they get to the bad guy's lab and it's like a goofy Frankenstein set with like
Yeah. that was
mirrors on the
insane.
wall that have ghosts, like and they like the ghosts were well animated, but they literally looked like the goofy posters you get. You know what? Like you turn it to the side, it's got a ghost in it. Do you know what I mean? Like at the
Right.
Halloween store,
Right.
they were literally like that fuzzy, like you could see the red and green or whatever. Like why do they look exactly like? Why would you try so hard to replicate that effect?
I mean, that
like, it's
just-
it was silly. It made it feel cheaper, and it was confusing as to like why you have a whole art team, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, I went down to the spirit store.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
want this.
I mean, that relates to what I was saying earlier. All of the special effects were subpar. It was not, and I felt like that's the part of the movie that would excel, at least with blatant quality. They would hire decent special effects artists. I don't know if they did, or if the special effects artists they did hire just didn't care as much, but it just didn't look good. Like the animation did not look good. The color didn't look good. It was just it looked kind of
Well, I mean,
crappy.
I would chalk that all up to the stylistic choice myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to get down on their visual effects and things like that because I think they executed it the way that they could.
They
wanted
executed
to.
it
Yeah.
as intended. It's just the art direction felt really off. for me.
Yeah, it
like it
felt
pulled me out
poor.
every time. Every time I saw a ghost, it was like, I never believed for a second that any Ghostbuster was standing next to a ghost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just saw CGI goofball. Like I'm sure there's a tennis ball and a stick right there. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
That's kind of what I was getting at. It just didn't. It was not as well executed as I felt like it could have been.
All right, let's talk real quick cameos.
Cameos, yes.
Yes.
I love the cameos.
Starting with slime.
Slimer?
Slimer, yeah.
Slimer's was the worst cameo in my opinion.
It was the worst.
Because,
but
like, it directly interfered with the plot. And,
it did.
let's face it, they made a movie with 4 strong female leads, and then they left Slimer to resolve the plot.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's almost like it reverses in on
Why
itself.
the hell is he driving the car into that? They don't do anything to steer the car there, by the way.
Because
He just drives it in.
He just drives it in.
Yeah.
They're like, let's kind of guide him, and they like make like lines to like sort of push him in, but like he just drives the car in there. It's very like, why? Why are you giving Slimer like plot control? He's not a character.
Because they gotta. Yes, he is. Everybody loves Slimer.
Slimer's like the
Everybody thinks they love
iconic
Slimer.
They gotta give him more stuff than just oh, there's Slimer there. But I know it's like, oh hey, Slimer's in the movie. Okay, cool. Moving
that's what
on.
they did with the mask, the marshmallow mascot. What's
He's
the
like in the
marshmallow man's name?
the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He was the balloon.
Yeah.
The giant party,
Yeah.
Not party balloon. I keep
Yeah.
saying that.
Parade balloon.
Parade
Yeah.
balloon,
yeah.
That was cool. They did. I was like, okay, they're really doing a good fan service.
Other cameos.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's cameo was confusing.
It was confusing
and like
Yeah.
weirdly handled, and it wasn't
Yeah.
even like shot comfortably.
But
Like
it's
the way
Bill
he's
Murray.
framed is like awkward and like everything.
I
It's just
think
Bill Murray,
I
man.
think
Oh, yeah.
Bill Murray's cameo is an example of, like you said, where they cut something out.
Yeah.
Like
true.
it seemed like there was supposed to be just a little bit more.
Yeah, because I felt like he was supposed to be like the guy from the original who's like, this is not eco-friendly, and he turns off the ghost machine and lets all the ghosts go.
Right.
I thought Bill Murray was gonna be like that character, sort of ongoing like antagonist.
But he just gets murdered.
He just shows up one day, like they had like.
Well, I mean, I like the execution of that. It's like, oh,
That-
hey,
I
and then
feel like-
suddenly he gets killed. That's great.
I bet you that's what Bill Murray pitched. He's
Yeah.
like, I'll be on it, but
But
Yeah.
I need to be murdered at some
Right.
point in the movie.
But like that, back to plot points that just made no sense. Like
Mm.
the police are, it's like, so who pushed him out the window? You three obviously have clear motive to kill this person. You know, he's questioning all of your science. He shows up at your place, then he flies out a window. What happened? They're like, oh, a ghost did it.
And
no
they
one in the
nev-
world believes them, and then they're just like, yeah.
There's no
Okay.
fallout.
Yeah,
it's
go for it.
another one of those things that starts and ends immediately.
Yeah,
like
for no good, clear reason at all. It just happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, the movie knows what it is. It might be letting those things go.
Well, I think
but-
the movie knowing what it is probably the biggest problem.
Yeah,
I
I guess that's
point,
true.
At some point, they
They
said,
could've tried.
"This is what we're making," and they were like, "We don't need to really push the envelope here. We don't really need to like
Things cannot make sense.
write anything."
All right, so after Bill Murray,
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd's was the best.
Best
okay,
cameo.
all right,
Yep, I totally
I
wholeheartedly
agree, but the most amazing thing when I watched the movie, nobody knew it was Dan Aykroyd. Like in the theater,
Really?
I was the only one
You were
going,
like,
"Oh my god! Oh shit! Oh, that's hilarious!"
Yeah,
You know, I was the only one. No one else
Oh.
knew him whatsoever. And I
That's
mean,
a
he
shame.
does look older, and he's
Yeah.
got a little more weight
He's
on
the one
him.
who looks the most different of all.
He
of
does
them.
look the most different of everybody else, but
But the voice.
yeah, it
That's
is the
what-
voice, and the lines
Yeah.
they gave him
Voice.
was great. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess it helps when you're EPing
I
it,
think-
but you know, but
I think they were just like, what would Dan Aykroyd actually say in this situation?
Yeah, doesn't care that all the ghosts are driving by. It's like, yeah.
I
don't drive
That's a
nuts.
block too far for me. I want to go today, and I ain't afraid no ghost. No.
Yeah, just
Plus,
keep
he's a
driving.
legitimate crazy person,
Person,
which
yeah,
is great.
Yeah, so I liked his cameo. I was really amazed that nobody in the
That's
theater
a shame.
like reacted.
Yeah,
to
you
it.
have to
Every
be-
other cameo, they were all in there. But
Yeah.
for Dan Aykroyd, I don't know whether he just looked too different for them,
Well,
or
when I
they
saw-
didn't know what we were talking about. Yeah, listen to us. No.
The last cameo was Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
What do you think? She's Kate McKinnon's
Well, it's
mentor
technically not the
character?
last cameo, but yeah.
Oh, what I
The
missed it.
uncle, right?
The very last is
Oh
Ernie
yeah,
Hudson.
Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, Ernie
Yeah,
Hudson.
well,
Hudson
even
is-
Annie Potts was in there, so.
Really? Oh, that's right.
She was the
Oh.
receptionist at the
Yeah, at the
hotel.
The
hotel.
fan service. They
I know,
did
it was great.
Amazing, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Okay, my bad. Wow, not even close to the last cameo. Sigourney Weaver's cameo though. There've been people are already talking online like if they do a sequel, bring Sigourney Weaver back into it, like make her like a main character. I'm like, no. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. No.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it would
don't
be
think they
fun.
should make a sequel.
Oh,
They're probably going to, but
oh yeah. So biggest spoiler.
Mm.
The very, very end of the movie, if there is a scene at the very, very, I mean, like at the end of the credits. Like, I mean, you see the little motion picture of America
I didn't stay
thing
through
comes
the
up.
credits. What happened?
Oh, I think I heard something on the tape. What's Zool?
So it's coming.
Yeah, that's coming. And you know what?
Why are you gonna do this
which
to me,
is
Hollywood?
funny because what that means is they absolutely knew what this movie was going to be, like you've been saying, and it's a trailer for the next one that's going to come out where they explain everything better.
God damn it, Marvel! Why'd you do this to us? Every movie now.
Yeah, every movie needs the second movie so you can tell if it was good or not. Oh man.
Sad.
Which I definitely will watch. All right.
It's Ghostbusters.
It's,
like
yeah.
I'm gonna be there. I'm too curious. It's like I saw Batman v Superman opening day.
Yeah.
Right?
Just
Did I
because you had to know.
did I at any point think it was going to be even decent or something that I could remotely enjoy if I took myself out of it? No. I knew it was going to be
Were you
horrible.
hoping that it would be good?
I legitimately hoped it would just crash so bad and Zack Snyder's career would just light on fire along with him and he would just be gone forever. We wouldn't have to watch Zack Snyder movies anymore. That was my hope.
Well, he's got a good cycle, Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, horrible. Hey, this was great. Hey, horrible again. So, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, like if but that's gonna be pretty much the attitude I'll have going into the next one. Not as harsh. This was nowhere near as bad as like Batman v Superman or anything like Zack Snyder-y. Like Paul Feig is a better director than Zack Snyder. But like I don't have a lot of hope. Like it's downgraded from like a very like big movie franchise or something that I'm really excited about. I'm gonna see the second one, but more in that when you're casually watching a TV show, you know, like a not particularly good one, but you watch the first episode and I guess, you know, you'll probably work your way to the second one.
Got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to see the sequel in theaters.
Yeah.
Or pay for it.
Well, I'll watch it in theaters, but I will see it in matinee.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we should just sort of wrap up here.
Yeah. Final thoughts.
We'll just do final thoughts, and then you'll just say solid recommend or don't recommend. Tark, you want to start us off?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and start off with a would not recommend. I felt that, you know, any movie that falls flat the entire time and any movie that's supposed to be a comedy that just falls short of anything actually funny. Like I said, like 4 laughs, 1 good, like actual, like hearty laugh. You know, besides, you know, the lead actresses acting with what they had and doing a relatively good job, like with what you said with Kristen Wiig's monologue about seeing that ghost when she was 8. The acting was subpar, the writing was bad. You know, the cinematography was terrible. I didn't really... Well, not terrible, but just not that great for what type of movie it is. The special effects were subpar, but all of that aside, it was perfectly possible to sit through. So I would not recommend it, but I find myself being surprised by not hating it as much as I feel like I should. I feel like I should hate it more than I do.
It is charming.
It's charming, exactly. Like, I didn't want to walk out at any point, but I was barely left in my seat. Which I'm still confused by that. I have mixed feelings about it. You know, this movie has me confused, but overall, I just would not recommend.
Okay.
Not a good movie.
All right. Jimmy?
Well, I would say not recommend, but I'm a pretty die-hard fanboy for certain things. So if I like it, if I like the whole story or the whole property, I guess that's the best way to describe it, I'll go watch it. Do I think it needs to be seen in a theater? Probably not. I don't think the scope of the scenes or the you know, like the landscape or anything like that requires you to see it on a giant screen. If you can catch it on TV, it'll be just as good as if it was in the theater. So that's why I say don't go when it's not a matinee. I don't have as a negative look on it as these other guys. I definitely was entertained. But yeah, there's no way I would spend $20 on that movie to go watch it in IMAX 3D. there was about 2 gags in 3D that worked, and that was the first ghost with the spewing of the ectoplasm, and then there was a couple of jump scares and stuff like that worked. But yeah, so not a 3D needed movie as well. But yeah, I would say if you don't have anything else to do, just watch it. I mean, it's not bad. I just have a few key issues with it.
All right. Following that up, it's kind of hard to recommend overall. I would agree that if you can catch it on Netflix or if it's on TV sometime.
TBS, man, they show those kinds of movies all the time.
Then it's like, yeah, check it out there if you're like really curious. If you're a diehard Ghostbusters fan, there's a chance you're gonna walk out angry.
For completeness' sake, though, right?
Yeah. Like if you're like me, if you're like me and you're super curious about these things and you're gonna go see it anyway. Don't just wait until you can see it in the cheapest theater you can see it in, or
online for free.
We
definitely don't.
It's not like actions we do ourselves. No, of course not. There are dollar theaters out there.
Yeah.
Support your local
support
theater.
your local dollar theater and wait to see Ghostbusters till it costs you $1. Overall, I was just really disappointed. I wasn't somebody who was going into this movie hating it or thinking it was going to be particularly bad. I was excited about this cast. I was excited about this director. And I feel really kind of let down in the end because there wasn't a whole lot of that. The care and thought that made simple premises like Bridesmaid pay off, none of that care and thought came into Ghostbusters. Instead of it being like well thought out and like high concept, it was just high concept and then just bare bones sort of like a plot on rails. So if you're excited to see Kristen Wiig in a movie, go watch a different Kristen Wiig movie. If you're excited to see Melissa McCarthy in a good Melissa McCarthy movie, go watch a different Melissa McCarthy movie. If you love Kate McKinnon, watch Ghostbusters. She's I legitimately think without her, people would be destroying this movie.
That's true.
Pulling it apart.
That's true.
She pretty much saves it. If you want to see a good Leslie Jones movie, go watch a different movie. There's just nothing here that you can't get somewhere else better. So in the end, that's my thoughts pretty much. I don't recommend it. So yeah, this has been our first episode of Welcome to Stubtown. Keep an eye out. We're going to be trying to release these things more or less weekly. Oh my God, this fly! It's killing me. I got it. Yeah.
Nice.
My name's TJ Hunt.
I'm Jimmy Hatcher.
I'm Tarquin Boyat.
And we'll see you next week.